So if you haven't seen it yet, Charlie Barnett, who is playing a character in the upcoming Acolyte series, says he's a giant super fan of Star Wars and then completely messes up the lore, saying Anakin blew up the Death Star.
I did get in trouble for this answer at Star
You
Wars
got
Con.
heat.
I got heat.
Yeah.
And in my mind, it's so funny to me because it literally, as a person who's outside and just a fan coming in, that was what was so beautiful and interesting to me. You know, people have been talking to me online about how Darth Vader is such a bad person. It's very clear, and it's very well established from those actions. But if you can't look and see that Anakin blowing up the Death Star possibly killed millions and millions of people, I'm going to get in trouble for saying this.
Anakin Skywalker, the character who later adopts the menacing identity of Darth Vader, is a cornerstone of the Star Wars franchise, known for his descent into the dark sides. Due to personal loss, Anakin stirred Barnett into a grave mistake during an interview. When commenting on Anakin's impressive character arc with Collider interviews, Barnett shockingly attributed the destruction of the Death Star to Anakin, which this stirred a massive outcry from fans who are well versed in the franchise's characters and major plot points. Despite a fellow actor's warning, Barnett continued his mischaracterization of Anakin's actions, calling them destructive, and as a result, sparking more outrage among the Star Wars fandom. He later admitted with a laugh that his comments would place him in hot water, and sadly, he was not mistaken. Online platforms quickly became battlegrounds as numerous Star Wars fans criticized Barnett's apparent lack of knowledge about the franchise. Many argue that the actor was merely doing his job and should not be blamed for misinterpreting the storyline. However, the criticism escalated as fans dug deeper, pointing out how the actors in the Acolyte were falsely portraying themselves as knowledgeable superfans despite the clear evidence to the contrary. Now, I've been seeing a ton of discourse too over the fact that Alec Guinness and Harrison Ford were not the biggest Star Wars fans, and I just want to dive into that a little bit here. Now, I know that Alec Guinness and Harrison Ford were not the biggest Star Wars fans. If you asked them 1,000 questions about Star Wars, they probably were going to get some of them wrong as well. But the difference between them and these actors now are that those guys never said they were super fans. Actually, Alec Guinness kind of, I think, regretted being in Star Wars. And that's okay because he actually admitted it. And Harrison Ford, obviously, he wanted his character killed off. So they admitted that they weren't the biggest fans. They weren't the most knowledgeable fans. And here we are in 2024 with the Acolyte Show, and we got these people saying they're the biggest Star Wars fans of all time, and this guy says Anakin destroyed the Death Star. Now, does it really matter in retrospect? Not really at all. Like, I don't think this guy saying this matters to the story plot of the Acolyte. I don't think it matters to how he acts as his character, or how he portrays his character, or how he's emotional in certain scenes. I think he's an actor, so we just have to let him do his job in that regard. And, you know, he wasn't put here to be a Star Wars fan. Last thing I really want to say is, like, yeah, we're probably just never going to get that fuzzy feeling from the prequels again when we were young, or even the original trilogy. The actors in the prequels, you know, even Anakin, or Hayden Christensen, when he came back as Anakin more recently in the Ahsoka series, said he was watching Clone Wars to see how that Anakin would react to things and respond to Ahsoka. So I think things like that are extremely important. But again, Hayden Christensen was playing Anakin during the Clone Wars at a certain period of time in Ahsoka, so it does make sense he would study that, whereas this guy is not playing any character from before or after. He basically is just playing a new character, so he just has to go off what Leslie Headland says as the director and the creative here. And we just have to really hope that the show's good. Again, I don't think this guy deserves any hate or anything like that. I think it could be a misslip, but it does seem like this has happened multiple times on multiple occasions. And, you know, despite him saying he's a super fan, I'm assuming he's not. He probably hasn't watched the movies, which is fine. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. Are you thinking it's like kind of blown out of proportion? Is this a big deal, or is this like, you know, pretty up the alley for Star Wars at this point? Let me know what you guys think. May the Force be with you. See you in the next one.